Hey all, about 18 months ago, I did a few video blogs on notable quotes. As I said back then, I like to collect quotes. I think quotes are these small short phrases that have the ability to stick in our memories. They highlight, almost like a proverb, a truth about the world or about us. And so I thought that it would be time again to maybe go through 4, 5, 6 quotes in the next few weeks that have impacted me in the last couple of years. And hopefully you'll find them beneficial as well. One of those quotes is actually very recent. It came from our district conference from Doug Conley, who was teaching at that, our district superintendent who was teaching at that conference. And one of the things he said was, don't try to fight your battle in someone else's armor. Now, it came out of the story of David and Goliath, a story that many of you are familiar with. But there's a few things that I want to highlight that sometimes we don't think about or get lost in that story. If you remember the story, when David showed up to deliver food to his brothers, he heard Goliath come out and challenge the armies of God. And so he got so indignant that he said, I'll fight this guy. And Saul heard about it and brought David in and said, well, I don't think you should, but if you're going to, here, take my armor. And you have to understand there was probably the only suit of armor, full suit of armor available to the entire army of Israel because he had nothing. And so David put it on, but he realized, I can't do this. I've never used armor before. It doesn't fit me properly. And so he said, I can't do this. And he let the armor go. And then he took what he was familiar with, a sling and some stones, the kind of thing that he had practiced with as a shepherd in the field, probably hours upon hours till his fingers were raw and calloused, just getting good at flinging that stone and protecting the sheep. And then he took a big gulp, a big breath, and he risked everything by stepping out onto the field and facing Goliath. And as I think about that, and I think about that quote of don't fight your battle in someone else's army, there's a couple things, 3 things really that stick out to me. Number 1 is this. We need to stop trying to be who we're not. We are not trying to be as hospitable as the next person, as articulate as the next person, as outgoing as the next person. Too often we see other people and we look at them and we think, well, if I could only do that, if I could just act like them or be like them, then I could accomplish stuff. But in fact, that never works because it's not your armor. It's not who you are. It's not how God has designed you to be. We need to stop trying to be that. Now, that leads into the second, which means we do need to lean into who we are and how God has designed us to be. That means we need to practice the things that God has given us the ability to do. Things we tend to minimize that we do well, we need to lean into those, to do them, to use them, to expand them, to grow them, to try and find new ways of applying them. And we can grow and get new talents and new experiences, but God is inviting us to just be the person he's designed us to be. And that leads to number 3, because we still need to step out and actually do something. David could have said, hey, the armor doesn't fit, so you know what? I'm going home. And too often we think, well, I can't be like that person, or I can't do what they do, so you know what? I'm just going to fade into the background and let other people do something. But in fact, what God says is, no, I designed you to do things. I need you to step out, use what you've practiced, use your skills, but take a risk. Because when you do, I'll step in. I'll be faithful. Because God is the hero of our story, just like he was the hero of David's story. So as you look around, as you think of the things sometimes that you're good at, or as you look at others and wish you were like them, remember, God has never invited us to fight the battle in someone else's armor, just in the armor that he's given to us. So let's lean into that, and let's practice that in the months and years ahead. Till next time.